Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine Design and a sticker on my finger. My first video went too long, so I'm sorry. But I was just sharing, and I don't know where it was, that my husband is very direct. I don't know where the other one ended, so I'm just going to jump in here. But there's a good thing in having somebody who's direct in your life. It helps hold me more accountable. And so as I'm sharing what God's doing in my life, because I'm in my Christian planner, and I'm sharing with you how I'm laying things out now and how things are changing in our family and in our household. And I'm changing the way I'm thinking. You know, honestly, what God is doing is going to make some people unhappy. Always. Whether it directly affects them or, or they'll even say, oh, that's great. And then they'll be your silent saboteurs. They'll sabotage what's supposed to be done. And you know what? That's on them. Because I trust God that He is going to protect my heart and help me get done what He needs me to do. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay. If somebody wants to be that silly about stuff, then that's on them. It's not on me. And I want you to know you were made to shine, girl. And I know we have some guys out there, so you were made to shine, guys. It's okay to do what it is that works for you. It's okay if other people say, you can't do that, or, well, what are you going to do here? And, oh, that's such a waste of time, and that's not really work, or that's not this. People are really naughty sometimes. and the interesting thing is, they can say whatever they think to you, but they would be mortified if we said it back. And you know what? And just to encourage you, my dear sweet friends, we don't need to say it back. As Christians, we don't need to act the way that others act. We need to be who God made us to be. So, there's my little soapbox. And the words of a friend of mine. She left me a text and she said, okay, I'm getting off my soapbox now. My husband goes, did she really write that? And I said, oh yeah. He said, does she really get on her soapbox? I said, oh yeah, she does. So, maybe because I had a text from her and she's beautiful. She looks like my youngest daughter. Okay, so I got to do one of my oldest daughter, to be fair. So I'm going to put my oldest daughter. She looks like this girl. Not as much anymore. She's not that blonde. When she was a baby, she had blonde hair. And then my daughter-in-law. This looks kind of like my daughter-in-law. Not quite, but got to have everybody on here. I love them all. So I'm going to put her right there. And that's that. Okay, I was going to put washi. I think I will put some washi on the bottom, which means I shouldn't have stuck this one down so well. But I only say these things to encourage. God has a plan for each of our lives. And there are those in this world who would love to have somebody else to tell what to do. And if that means sabotaging God's plans for you, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And they can even be Christians. They can even claim they're Christians. But just recognize not everybody has, your best in mind. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that to be honest. And to love you enough to say the truth. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So, I, myself, am having to deal with this as well. As my husband is trying to tell me the same thing. And he's right. Because everybody would love for us to do all the work for free in life. Oh, yeah. Whether that be kids or home or, whatever's going on. And, and I've had my fill, and it took a while. I mean, I've said this, I've probably grumped about it a whole lot, but it finally hit me so hard this weekend. And I recognized that not only have I had my fill, I've got that buckled, but I'm not going to take it up because it won't come up. But I've forced my husband into this, and my youngest daughter, and on and on and on, and I can't take that back. It's over. That part's over. I have felt terrible about it enough. And there are those that will never, ever, 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 ever acknowledge what they've done. And you know what? That is their loss, because sadly enough, my family knows. And they know what's real and what isn't real anymore. And, you know, which I was not as quick to say those things. And there's still some of my family that's just totally in the law, you know, like totally not going to know. I got over here without my scissors because I took them on the trip. And I'm going to take that off, and I'll probably use undo. Well, let me see if I can do it this way. So I'm just saying these things to you to say, whatever God has called you to do, if He's called you to work full-time, teach full-time, you know, work in an office full-time, whatever it is, you know, whether you work at a grocery store or a retail store, or, you know, you teach, or you, you know, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, you know, you work in an office, you work in a bank, you work, you know, on and on and on. You work in a factory, wherever you work, do your best as if unto the Lord. But, my dear sweet friends, take some time for yourself. And there are free and cheap ways to craft. And when we do some of the craft with me's, I'm going to have lots of those. Lots of those. And if you watch my planner videos, I show how you can do a planner for less than $1 a week to decorate it. And it looks pretty, and, you know, on and on and on. And this probably was maybe $2 or $3 at the most. And I do go a little bit more when I use any of this. It wasn't even that much. I take that back. This is probably maybe $2. So I don't want you guys to feel like when you come to this channel, you have to spend a lot of money. I'm a huge advocate for Tuesday morning. You guys know that. Target, Dollar Spot, all those places, Dollar Tree, resale, junk pile. I told my husband, I went into Goodwill the other day and I said, oh my goodness, it's gotten so expensive and I just won't pay those prices. And he goes, why do you feel that way? And I said, probably because I'm always digging through people's junk and taking their junk for my junk journals. And he, you know, asking for it. And he, oops, sorry guys, I didn't mean to bump you. I'm so sorry. And he started laughing. He goes, yeah, you are getting cheap, aren't you? I said, yeah. And he's like, good. That's a good thing. Stay cheap. And that's why I'm not rushing to clear out all the storages for my parents, because I know that when I go back through there will be all kinds of things that I can use that would be most likely trash. And I was so tired after my dad passed and so focused on my mom. And then after my mom passed, I was just exhausted. And I just wanted to just dunk. And everybody was pressuring me to get all this stuff done, of course, by myself and my family, by ourselves. I mean, my brother, and I will give, and I want to take that back. My brother did come down, and his wife, they did help. When I finally would call and say, I just can't do another thing. Please help me. And he came several times. And so I absolutely adore them. But as far as the day-to-day, in and out, taking care of all the, you know, junk, and there's, you know, another word that comes to mind, but and I'm just talking about, like, you know, the word crap, sorry. But it just, there was a lot of it. And when you're as physically, you know, I had so much trouble with my knees and all of that, it was just, it was overwhelming. It was utterly overwhelming. And it's made me learn a lot. My husband said this weekend, he said, if we had to clean out our house and our basement, it'd be 5 years. And I said, yeah. And I told him, you know, and I said, and that's not even touching your barns, garages, you know, your 2 barns in the garage. And he said, yeah. So we each have our stash, so to speak. So we're talking about ways to constructively go through it. And not now, but probably this spring, I'll be hiring some help and, you know, trying, after we get, hopefully, if we can get this other thing done, then hopefully it'll give us more space, and then we can go through things in a more systematic fashion, not just an exhausting keep dump, you know, keep trash pile, you know how you do, or keep trash donate. And, but it's good. I mean, it's really, really good. I mean, even myself, like even in my clothes, I've had to think, okay, I need to clean out my closets again. And it's kind of like, but what do I really want to keep? What do I really enjoy? And it's not the Marie Kondo. I mean, I have the book. I know there's a thing on Netflix, and when everybody goes back on, well, I'm doing some work, I'm going to be watching a few of those videos because I do need that kind of encouragement. But I'm not sure I'm going to touch everything and say, does this bring me joy? But I am going to think about it as, how can I really use this, or is it just going to sit in this drawer? And if it's going to sit in this drawer, I'm going to give it to somebody else who can really use it. Or I'm going to cut it up and put it in a journal. I have a lot of lace jackets that I pulled out, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to donate those. I'm going to cut those up. So anyways, And I wish I'd have thought about that when I went through my mom's clothes. But, I mean, I don't want to be not giving to those in need. I totally, if I feel like it would better help somebody else, of course. But in those particular instances, it was was kind of like, oh no, I need that one. So, but that was my closet, not my mom's. So anyways, long story short, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This have been 2 very long-winded videos, and the previous one probably as well. So after this, I'm going to have some hauls, and we'll have less and less hauls. There'll be some things that will still be trickling in that have been ordered a while back. But, and I pretty much am going to cut myself back to only a few Etsy shops that I have. I had to try several to see what I really like. And there's 3 I absolutely adore. And I will probably continue with those 3, maybe 4 shops. And then, of course, I'll be setting up my Etsy shop because I have so much supply. I had a store. I have so many supplies that I may or may not use now, or I may be using in junk journals, and you guys might want to do it with me. I have some kits. I love making junk journal kits, and I will have many that I will be listing again. And as soon as we can get back in my craft studio, I'm super excited because I have all the big dies, steel cut dies, and I would love to make things available to you guys for very, very inexpensive prices. And, I mean, my husband's always mad, like, that didn't even cover your time. I'm like, but it encourages everybody else to be creative, and that's a good thing, So there'll be some things like that hopefully will be very affordable options for y'all, but that you don't have to do. You can do your own thing. You can create your own goodies, and I do that a lot. I watch a lot of people I adore here on YouTube, but I probably wouldn't spend the money that they're spending, and I find cheap ways to kind of replicate that, but, my way. So, all right, so these are my plans. It's almost like a New Year plan. I feel like maybe I was so sick at New Year's. That's probably why I'm now getting my speed back up. But, all right, I'm going to stop talking to y'all, give you a break. I apologize if I went on too long. But I so appreciate all y'all, and I hope that everything's going so well for you today. Whether you're watching this in January 2019 or you're watching this in January or even, August in 2020, however long this is going to be up. But I just want you to know that our God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And His love for us is true. And He has wonderful plans for each of us. Plans not to harm us. Plans to encourage us and to prosper us in the ways that He has created us for. And you know what? I'm not a conventional office gal anymore. And I never was a conventional teacher. That's probably why I loved special ed. And that's okay. God created us all differently. And to be honest, that's what got my children through school. I was able to adapt when they had issues. And that was by God's grace. Nothing more. It wasn't because I was some fantastic teacher. I'm not. But it was by God's grace that He would encourage me or break me down and recognize what I was doing wasn't working and change my ways and, change up to meet the needs of each child. And, education is an amazing tool. But if we can't meet the need of the student, it's a waste of time. That's another soapbox. I'm not going to get on that in my best country accent. So, all right, my dear sweet friends, thank you so much for stopping by. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'm going to be getting to my comments. I am actually going to schedule in comment days on my calendar. That was another thing I realized, is that we schedule what we make priorities for, and you guys are such a priority in my prayer life, and I need to let that reflect in my comments to y'all, and my apologies. But if you don't hear from me, usually, and I haven't responded to something, it's either because I'm sick or there was some kind of an emergency. And I got a call this morning. My sister-in-law might be going into labor early, but we're waiting to see. She's had a couple of scares, so we'll see. She's still got a ways to go, so please pray for her. The baby would be early, and I think the baby would be fine. according to what she thinks, that she understands. And she's very smart. She's, she has a medical background. But she's not a doctor, but she has a medical background, and I really trust her instinct. But it has been a very difficult pregnancy for her. So, and anyways, but those emergencies catch my eye, and those are the things if I get called away or my daughter being sick. So, but outside of that, I'll try to get back on. Even when I'm sick, I'll try to, and actually I'm reblogging now. I'm starting to blog again, not reblogging, but I'm blogging. And some things I do. I take from one blog, I like the article, and I put it on my blog. And a lot of them are Christian articles. And then I will also have videos up, and I probably will put this one up because there's so much that I've talked about here. But anyway, so I will always try to now post on my blog. If you don't see me, check my blog. And it's easy, josephinesdesigns.com, name of the channel. So, anyways, but I'm not up full steam on that, but I am starting to get focused on it again. So, all right, my dear sweet friends, I got to get my Bible study video up because, oh my goodness, I got to get a shower here real quick because we have Bible study tonight. So, all right, our family Bible study. So, I pray your day's blessed, creative, and so very, very lovely. I'm just so thankful for y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll be talking to y'all soon, but less talk. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.